Hey y'all, it's Eric Odom here with LibertyNews.com. It's Saturday, May 23rd, I believe, of 2015, and here at the office. And I wanted to give you guys a little bit of an update on my thoughts with Trans-Pacific Partnership. This is, in my view, incredibly dangerous. And what this does, and let me just back up a little bit. I honestly, in the research that I'm doing and the things, the information I'm coming across, and information is very limited because the legislation which just cleared the Senate is secret. It's top secret. Nobody can see it. We have no idea what's there. The members of the Senate that we elected to represent our best interest are basically keeping all of this from us, which from the start tells you everything you need to know. If there was nothing to be concerned about for Mitch McConnell, who in my view is a traitor, and the rest of those in Senate who supported this legislation, if there was nothing to be concerned about, they would release it to us. We could go look at it. We could take apart the language and try to figure out what it all meant, but they don't want us to see it. And that should tell you everything you know right from the beginning. But the pieces that have been leaked, I can tell you right now, just show arguably one of the most dangerous pieces of legislation that our nation has seen in my lifetime, and certainly in Obama's tenure in office as president, as well as this Senate and this Congress. It's just incredible, and we don't even have to get into the discussions of what this will do to our economy. Because if anyone thinks that by, as they say, leveling the playing field, we're going to suddenly have more jobs here in the U.S. and have a better economic situation by making it easier for global corporations to shift jobs out of the U.S. and into Pacific Rim nations, if you think that's good for the U.S. economy, you have no clue what's going on. And, you know, Mitch McConnell and these senators, they're not stupid. Now, they may do a lot of really stupid things, but they do them to benefit those that are lining their pockets, the billionaires, the global corporations, those that are making it easy for them to get reelected because they pay for all their TV ads, they pay for all the yard signs, they pay for their high-paid consultants to come and figure out how to trick voters into believing them. Those are the people that Mitch McConnell and the rest of his ilk in Washington are catering to. This legislation helps those people, no doubt about it. It helps the global big corporations that want a one-world economy, that want to break down the barriers of the Constitution, and that want to see competition with medium and small businesses go away. They want this kind of thing to happen. They want to be able to shift the economy out of the constraints of the U.S. legal system and into the less regulated environment of the Pacific Rim nations, where there's more of a global law infrastructure versus U.S. law infrastructure. But we don't really have to go too deep into that. One of the things that we do know that was leaked to WikiLeaks, or that WikiLeaks obtained, I'm not sure how they obtained it, but there was a chapter in the original language, which, by the way, it is believed that the language was crafted by a committee made up of corporate fat cats, labor unions, and major special interests. So basically, if you take, I don't know which labor unions, but just for example, if you take SEIU or any other public employee unions, and you take their bosses and you put them on this committee with the same corporations, that the global corporations that they're in bed with, and with the same government hacks that they're in bed with, where you have all this money churning around, and it's just going in a cycle from union to tax dollars into unions, into major corporations, back to the unions, back to the government, back to the corporations, back to the unions. It's like a money laundering game. Those are the people who've crafted the majority of the language for the TPP. So, this is dangerous in that they've crafted this piece of legislation that's anti-American. It will rip what's left of the U.S. economy out, just gut our industry, shift all of our technology, all of our customer service, what's left of it all, into the Pacific Rim nations and out of the U.S. It literally is, it's withdrawing what's left of the U.S. economy out of the U.S. That's what the TPP does, but it does much more than that. Getting back to this WikiLeaks chapter that was leaked, and we don't know if this was leaked, I believe, in 2013 or 2014. We don't know if this chapter, word for word, as WikiLeaks published it some year or two ago, we don't know if it's exact because, again, we can't see it. So we don't know if it's exact. But what the chapter does is it caters to these billion-dollar industries in Hollywood that have all these content copyrights. And basically what they've wanted to do is get the ISPs, like say Comcast or AT&T, anyone who you can purchase internet service through, they want to force, through legislation, they want to force those ISPs to be police of the end user for copyright content. And on the front end, you think, well, that's kind of a good thing. I mean, if I were to go create and write a song, publish that song, yes, I wouldn't want someone to take my song and use it however they want without paying me royalties or without letting me know how they're going to use it and me making that permissible. No one can argue that. There's lots of arguments for that. Now, how you police that is a whole different story. And what the TPP does, if this chapter is correct, is it makes the ISPs shut down the end user point if there's a complaint. So all someone has to do is say, hey, this website or this blog or this YouTube channel is posting up copyright material and you need to shut them down. On that complaint alone, according to this chapter of TPP that was released, the ISP has to shut that internet connection down. So there's a number of things to be concerned about that on. First of all, let's say that you're in a multifamily household. So you've got roommates. Let's say you're a college student. You've got 5 or 6 roommates, right? And you all share the cost of the internet connection. So if it's $100 a month, everybody's throwing in $10, $20 to pay for that internet connection, right? And if one person writes a blog post and puts up, a video from some movie, like they're reviewing it or something, or whatever the case may be, all someone has to do, and it doesn't even have to be the copyright owner, all someone has to do is come and complain to the ISP, and the ISP has to go shut that connection down. So it effectively block all the internet users connecting to the Wi-Fi in that apartment or in that house, completely lock them out of the internet. Now, as if that's not bad enough, the grander scheme that this could create is that if you are a small business, like a news agency, like we are, libertynews.com. So we're not big. We have a couple employees. We publish news from, we have writers in multiple states, so various different places. But if you're a blogger who, or a small news site or a YouTuber who gets your revenue and that pays for your ability to go and produce content, like I'm doing right now. This would be an ad-supported video that I'm doing right now. So if you're like me and you go out and you sustain your business through advertising, be it web banners on your website or ads on your videos or ads on your audio podcast, etc., with TPP in place, if someone hears some music in the background, or say I'm in a Starbucks coffee shop and there's some Hollywood song playing overhead, and that gets into the YouTube video, then anyone can go and complain to the ISP and say there's a copyright violation and my internet connection could be shut down, which would effectively shut down the business. And that would happen that could happen for tens of thousands of blogs that are doing alternative media that don't have, like mainstream media, just armies of attorneys that can go and fight this sort of thing, and we're completely web-based. This would completely shut anyone like us down just by having a complaint. So surely you can see the danger of what this does to alternative or conservative media or online media. It's it's a major power grab and control of narratives in the United States disguised as protection for copyright content. Now, the second piece to this is that if you think your internet bill is bad now, which I do, my internet bill at home is outrageous for the amount of data that I use, and it just keeps going up and up and up. And I can't stand the ISP that I have. Unfortunately, I live in a high-rise building that only has that option. There's no competition. No other companies allowed to come into that building because of what's happening with control of the pipes underneath the building. So, I'm locked into the company that I use knows that they are the only ones available in my building, and because of that, we pay through the teeth for it. So it's already bad enough. And I'm sure that if you use a lot of data, if you have Netflix and you've got a big internet package, you know the cost that's involved with using internet right now. Imagine what's going to happen when your ISP now has to create a whole new department, a whole new infrastructure to police and monitor everything that you post on Twitter, on Facebook, through your blog, on your YouTube channel, anything that you instant message back and forth, anything that's made public to someone else from your endpoint on the internet has to be policed by the ISP. That's going to have tremendous costs associated with it. So it's kind of a double whammy for tyranny. For tyranny, you get the pipeline that you need to shut down opposing voices, just completely silence them. I mean, put them out of business too. And it's not just, well, you're down for a day and you can appeal it. Yeah, there may be an appeals process or something you can do, but you're shut down in that time period. You are completely shut down. Your business is shut down. Your ability to communicate. In this case, if this video, let's say I had a logo or something on a wall behind me, and someone complained to my ISP and says, hey, there's a copyright, I wouldn't even be able to come back after like an hour later and say to you, hey, I've been shut down and here's what they did. I'd be completely shut down, cut off from communication with you or any audience that we have, all because of just a complaint. There doesn't even need to be proof that a copyright violation happened. It would just be a complaint. So this is one of the things that we know and believe are in the TP, very small part of the TPP. So it's just outrageous that that the Senate and possibly even the House are supporting something that is deadly to our economy, is deadly to free speech, is deadly to the movement of communication that they don't believe with, and is going to cause the cost of internet usage, which is a process of free speech. If I go pay for internet service, I get to put my free speech in a broader audience. It's just a double whammy. I mean, it's gloves off coming after us, and Obama's been working on this for years with his buddies in the labor unions and in the global corporations. And unfortunately, no one in the Senate stood up to it. Well, I mean, a few did, but most of the Senate basically rubber stamped this. McConnell and Boehner are saying this is a good thing. Anytime they say, it's kind of like Nancy Pelosi, we have to pass a deal to see what's in it, but it's going to be good for you. Even though we just saw yesterday released that there are several states, one of which is insurance companies are looking to raise rates for health insurance by 50%. So when they say, well, this is a good thing, but we're not going to let you see it until after the fact, trust me, it's a very bad thing. And their record proves that. And that's exactly what's happening here. You have something that has global implications that can shut down businesses and shut down free speech and remove the entire environment of alternative narratives and information getting out there and shift jobs out of the U.S. economy and gut the economy even further. And they won't let us see the language that's in it. It's a bad thing. So I would encourage you, I know it's Memorial Day and we've got a lot of things that we want to certainly pay attention to on Monday and give credit to those who need credit or deserve credit for Memorial Day. So we definitely have to keep that in mind over the next day or two. But going into next week, you need to get in contact with your member of Congress. And I know there's a common belief that they don't listen to us or do anything that we say. But that in no way means that we just ignore them and let them go on and do what they want without our voice of opposition involved. I think we need to hammer these congressional offices and let them know that we absolutely do not support this. We need to see the language in the legislation, and if they're going to pass it without us seeing it, then it is, in my view, it's an act of treason. It is doing something directly damaging to the U.S. that helps the enemies of the U.S. and cloaking it in something that's good for the U.S. I don't know how that can be construed as anything other than treason against the U.S. So we definitely need to keep the pressure on and share this with your friends. Let them know. Look, TPP, there's so much confusion around it, and it's regarded as, oh, it's just this, this trade agreement. Of course we want free trade. That's what, that's what freedom's all about. Free trade, free trade, free trade. That's not what this is about. This is about sucking the life out of the U.S. economy, acquiring it and moving it overseas into the hands of our enemies, while also removing our ability to complain or message about it while it's happening. Unbelievable, folks. This is tyranny, and it's dangerous, and McConnell and Obama and all of them are guilty of this, guilty of hurting and harming the U.S. and our interests and us as taxpayers, and the word needs to get out there. So share this video, share the message, post this on your Facebook page and your Twitter account. Let people know this is very dangerous. And any member of Congress or Senate who, the House or Senate who supports this is doing something that's directly endangering us as a country, as a citizenry, and as taxpayers, and everyone should know about it, and they shouldn't be able to get away with it. I just hope that this is one of those things that we don't find out how bad it was too late. So I'm Eric Odom with LibertyNews.com. Hope you enjoy these video blogs. I'll be doing 2 or 3 of them a week, so keep an eye on the YouTube channel. You can subscribe at youtube.com/Liberty News Media. And also you can find a link at LibertyNews.com. So thanks so much, and have a good rest of your weekend. Happy Memorial Day, and check back in with you next week.